Welcome to the G League Podcast, Episode 2, live from Studio G. Definitely not in the Quick Bites Cafe.
Welcome back, you guys. This is Raw unedited, so here we go. The first topic we want to talk about this week is the top two teams and the bottom two teams. Based on the team standings, we have Sonic Swish and Air Those Balls with 2 wins each at the top. And then we have Starship Shooters and 1 with 2 losses on the bottom. Do you think these two, top and bottom, will continue throughout the season? Or do you think we're going to start to see some shift and changes? Scott, what do you think?
Man, Sonic Swish has looked really, really good right out of the gate. Like dominant wins in both games. So I think they're going to stay at the top. ATB, on the other hand, barely won against a super crippled Red Bulls squad that was down to 5 players. So it feels a little bit tougher of a sell to say that they're going to win out the rest of the season. But
Not only that, they had the X Factors come up and help them out every step of the way. And we're not seeing the stars shine as much on ATB. So maybe ATB is relying too much on their X Factors. And if they can keep that up,
So from those two, we feel like ATB might start to kind of fall down a bit. But Sonic Swish, freaking amazing. Like Adrian, Marcus, and Mitchell, I knew they're going to play well. But respectively, they're averaging 14 points, 12 points, 15 points. All of them shooting above 45%. That's ridiculous numbers. So do you think they'll keep this up, this efficiency in their scoring?
yeah, especially Adrian had a tough outing last week, so I don't expect him to shoot above 50% every night, but much better moving forward. Man, like that 3-headed attack is super
It's scary. Yeah. I mean, my team is playing them this week, so we'll have to see, do some mad game planning, but they're a scary team. And we didn't even talk about Albin, one of the top best shooters, and Sahil. So this team, Sonic Swish, yeah, I think they're going to stay on the top for a while.
most definitely.
How about the bottom twos? Who's going to climb out of that bottom, out of those two teams we mentioned?
I think throughout the season we're going to find a bit more balance. Starship Shooters, unfortunately, didn't have Jasper their first game, and I think that definitely cost them 1 win. The second one, I think, was just an unfortunate loss. I think they didn't have the best performance towards the second end of the half. First half, they played great. And in terms of one, I feel like feel like we're slowly picking up steam. I do feel like we'll get some wins under our belt and balance out the league and see ourselves coming into the middle of the pack with the rest of the groups.
I mean, for those who know Crits, he shoots the lights out in the scrimmages. So I feel like we haven't really seen that side of Crits. So we're hoping that he pick it up in the game 3.
Or he can wait a week if he doesn't want to go up against us.
You guys are playing today, so better watch out today, Scott and Starship. How about you, Scott? The bottom two, do you think who out of the two will climb themselves out from the bottom?
I mean, clearly biased, but I feel like the Starship squad has enough of the right pieces in the right places to win a lot more games moving forward. Like Bassem was alluding to, we were missing critical components of the team over the last 2 weeks. So hopefully with the full squad, we'll be rolling.
So while we're talking about those 4 teams, we mentioned certain players not being available to play the game, whether they're injured or they're working. So how about the MIA effect, missing in action? Which team is hurting the most by not having their key players? I'll start with, obviously, straight out of shape, Steven Sales. We haven't seen him play yet. He missed out the first 2 games. We don't know if he's going to play this week or not, but he was their first, not the first, but like a top draft pick. So I think they're missing the rebounding, scoring, and the toughness that he brings to the game. So I think straight out of shape, they're really, really missing out on not having Steven. How about you
I
guys?
completely agree. Straight out of shape. It's adding a lot of pressure on Mushtaba. With Steven there, it will help them up and give them a better standing. but I think all teams are getting affected by this MIA effect. I think, in my opinion, Scott Majors to the Red Bulls is
Right.
a big factor of the team. They built the team around him. So if he's out, then the team is kind of struggling at least to get the pace going and to go to create another game plan to face against the other teams. Dirty Dogs also had a big loss as they were missing Georges.
Yeah, last game.
So and one was missing Rich as well. So I think all teams are suffering from the MIA effect, but I think the Red Bulls without Scott Majors I think that could halt their chances.
Well, hopefully he's able to come out
Yeah.
at least majority of the games. How about you, Scott? Who do you think has the biggest MIA effect?
Yeah, I think all the squads that you guys listed out, definitely true. But like the Red Bulls is like the easiest one to point to and go, they would be 2-0 if they had Scott that first game.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In theory.
Yeah. But like the MIA effect is like very easily translated to a win here.
Yeah.
The other ones are like maybe if they shoot a little bit better because X player is there or whatever. But that first game one for Red Bulls is like clearly to me like one more win.
Gotcha. So, how about all the great rookies that are performing so well? We kind of featured them in our first week of newsletter, but just overall, it's very early, but I think it's easy to say we have some standouts. Who are your top front early runner for rookie of the season?
I'll take the easy one. Mitchell, player of the week for week 2, playing out of his mind, 28 points, super efficient game. Is very clearly the central point of that Sonics Swish 3-headed Hydra on offense. And like, what do you do against them? What do you do?
Pray. How about you, Bassem? Who do you have as the front early runner for the rookie of the season?
I have Mitchell as well. I think he's a very early runner of rookie of the year, or the season, and I like Mustaba as well as a rookie. He's been trying to carry his team, and trying to push them. He's been dominating the boards and the rebounds and trying to facilitate as well as score without Steven Sales there. But I do think Mitchell has an overall. He's been performing consistently.
Yep.
Even in the first 2 games, even though Marcus has also been a great rookie for
Tremendous,
the teams. Yeah, and I think those pairings with Adrian, it's kind of tough to just give it to Mitchell right away.
Yeah, you gotta give out a shout out to Marcus too. Like he's shooting really efficiently at 54%, leading his team, double digits in scoring, and his defense 3 steals. Like he's doing on the both side of the court. We gotta give out to Ken too. He's really helping out the part-time hoopers with his speed, leading the team in assist. Obviously he's struggling a little bit from 3, but we've seen him again in scrimmages where he knocked down those 3s, so we could see him climbing up the ladder for the rookie of the season race. And I'm a huge fan of Mustafa because he does everything right.
Yeah.
He scores, he rebounds, he gets his teams involved, even though he blames his teammates for the turnovers. But he's an ultimate
team. A bit more vocal.
Yeah, he's an ultimate team member. Inspires his crew. So I think Mustafa is also on the front runner for possibly.
Yeah. Shout out to Dan as well.
Yeah.
Oh, we totally forgot about Dan, who was the X factor, right?
Yeah.
For the past week.
Dan is definitely like 2 wins for ATV. The way he's been playing both week 1 and
huge
week 2.
contributor. Yeah. Leading the league in 5.5 offensive rebounds. His putbacks last week was huge. He was featured on the newsletter too. Definitely shout out for Dan as well. And our last topic for today is we had the power rankings by Colin Coward that just got sent out. But we won't talk about that. We will talk about the matchup for this week. So we have 2 games today, which is Monday. Why don't we talk about those matchups, Scott?
Yeah, so the first 8:30 matchup we have Dogs versus ATV. So ATV is going in 2-0, Dogs 1-1, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's hard to pick against Dan and ATV for this one, especially since we're a little bit lower on the Dogs going into the season. So I'm gonna go with ATV on this one in the hot hands.
Okay. About the next game, Bassem?
Ooh, this is a nice game. Both teams are 0-2, and they're going to fight for that win. I think
For those two teams.
it's gonna be and one and the Starship Shooters.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it's gonna be an exciting game. Definitely, I think it's gonna be the most exciting game because everyone's going to try and fight for that win. I think Chris is going to have a good game. He's going to show why he has a chance for Rookie of the Year if he shows up, and
Still plenty of games left.
yeah, and anything can happen. So I'm excited for and one versus Starship Shooters. I'm very excited for that one.
Awesome. So those are the Monday matchups, and for Thursday we have Straight Outta Shape versus the Part-Time Hoopers. Who do you guys take for those two matchups?
Again, like Part-Time Hoopers was on the lower end of our initial like opinions about where teams are going to fall into.
True.
SOS hopefully with Steven Sales. We don't really know yet. Is that correct?
Yes, we don't know yet, and
I
there's
know.
also an inside source that other certain player who works in medical device is traveling for work. He's gonna do his best to arrange his flight priorities, right? So to come
Unfortunately,
back
G,
in time.
We all work in medical
Yeah.
device, so that doesn't
Well-
really narrow it.
Well, most of
down.
us, not all, but so we'll see if he's able to be healthy, have the energy to play the game. I think that's gonna be a big factor. PT Hoopers, especially being those fast, quick team, I think it's gonna be really tough for those. How about the Sonic Swish and the Red Bulls? I'm gonna not be involved in those one because I'm very biased, obviously, as a Red Bulls. How about you guys? What do you guys think? Who's gonna take this monumental matchup?
I think the Swish, honestly speaking, like if they're playing the same games as they have been playing, I think it's going to be a great game. If Scott Majors is involved, anything can happen as well. I know the Red Bulls, they played a great game last week against the Dirty Dogs, who came out. You know, the first game they were played amazing. So the Red Bulls really showed the league what they're made of by taking them down a notch. But I think the Swish has too much firepower for the Bulls, but we'll
Gotcha.
see how that game goes.
How about you, Scott? Who do you take?
This is tough.
Yeah.
So it's two different squads, right? I feel Sonic Swish's offense is just next level, but the Red Bulls' length on defense is super, super important for this matchup. It's hard to choose, but I will pick defense, and I will go with the Red Bulls.
Awesome. Well, there's an inside source. Our former last season defensive player of the season winner, Zach. I think if you guys saw the YouTube week 2, he got injured in the second half of the game. So we'll see how healthy he is. I think he's going to have a huge factor in the defense that you guys pointed out.
Sorry, can I change my prediction?
Knock on wood, Zach.
Yeah.
Zach gets better.
So hopefully Zach is able to come back healthy. He's going to be the huge difference maker in the outcome of this game. But outside of that, I'm looking forward to this two, giants going at it for the week 3. All right, those are all the content that we have for today. Hope you guys are continuing to enjoy our podcast. Some of you guys gave us a really nice comment about how you like this. Again, we're not professionals. We're just only doing this for fun. Hope you guys find this fun and engaging. And we'll see you guys next time. And I missed the time for the outro. Later, guys.